again. Chinwag time. Fancy a chat? Pull up a chair and join me. Oh, I've got a lot in my head. I don't know what'll come out. I don't know whether it'll all be okay, but if it is, I'll leave it in. If not, I'll edit it out. That's what I do. I edited 20 minutes out last time. I thought these people have got lives. Anyway, I'm just going to go off and see if this is recorded. If it is, I'll keep it in. Yep, the sound was okay, so it's in. That's how I've started this week, so welcome. My name's Penny. I live in the southeast of England with my husband Pete, who's out there gardening, and my 3 chickens, who are in lockdown, so that's not much fun for them, but they're fine. The sun is shining, and I'm glad to say that Pete and I are feeling so much better. I think it was about January the 4th we went down with the lurgy, and we've had the last 3 years feeling well because we sheltered, looking after Mum, and then being up at the hospital with her. We caught something, but I think even people who haven't been up the hospital, they've caught something too. My son-in-law and his son, my grandson, were both on 2 lots of antibiotics and steroids. So it's a nasty one. So it's taken Pete till now, and me, till this weekend to feel half decent. I feel half decent again. Oh, it's such a joy to wake up in the morning, the sun's shining. The morning's quite difficult for me. Not sad, but I wake up feeling, cheerful. Let's put it like that. Nothing wrong with tears, is there? But that's how I wake up and feel. So I usually have a couple of tears. I heard something this week I really liked. Oh, sorry, girls. I'm getting straight into it. I'm presuming you know who I am. And interrupting myself there, thank you so much for your comments. My comments, the things you write to me, they mean so much. I can't tell you. I love every single one of them. And do you know what? I wasn't going to do Chinwag this morning. Well, I was when I got up. And then I was called away around the house, the plumber, Mum's house. I'm sorting it all out. And I went round there. I came back to Pete. I said, well, that's it. That's my morning gone. But I found I wanted to chat with you. So I've just come on. I've got my jeans on and, anyway, nice to talk to you. Thanks for listening. But what I heard this week was true joy from the heart beats a head full of knowledge. I thought how true that is and how joyful my mum was. She was such a joyful person. As you know, on her last day, she was singing songs and the nurses joined in. So what a joyful person. And I wake up in the morning, I have a few tears, but then I think, no, let's get the joy back. True joy from the heart beats a head full of knowledge. And when you feel poorly, like Pete and I have done for whole of January and up till now, honestly, I couldn't even think of words, let alone knowledge. Couldn't even think of words. We're both saying to each other, I think they call it brain fog now, don't they? So never mind. I often tell you a few fascinating facts. They'll go in there. They'll probably go out there. But that doesn't matter. It's like a meal we eat, isn't it? I can't remember what I had day before yesterday, but I thoroughly enjoyed it when I had. So we haven't got to remember everything we're told. Just let it come in and go out. But it's about our hearts, isn't it? Our hearts full of joy. And sometimes we have to work at that. Sometimes we have to think, how am I going to get my joy today? It is something we work at, because I know my mum, when my dad died, they were like that, as you know, and she kept her joy. We all said, what a marvel. We thought she'd fade away. Oh, no, she had a lot to be joyful for. All her great-great-grandchildren and great-grandchildren and grandchildren, and us. And anyway, so I'm taking quite a lot out of my mum's book, leaves out of her book. It's hard to feel joyful sometimes, isn't it? With the things that are going on and how we're feeling, battling against age and, infirmities. But what can we be joyful for? So I'm joyful for the sun today and that I don't feel like I've got the lurgy. So that's what my joy is. Anyway, that was a lot of waffle, wasn't it? So I just wanted to come and talk to you. Thanks for listening. I know I've said that before, but I do mean it. I mean, thanks for your comments. I've said that before, but I do mean it. Wonderful, wonderful. So I was up and about at the weekend, and I spent the weekend round my mum's house because I've got to clear it out. I've got to tidy it up, put it on the market, all of that. I'm finding things that I didn't even know were there, and things that are bringing me a great deal of joy. Yeah. So I went round with my friend Heather. You've seen her on here. I think she was round when Tommy was born. Anyway, we're great friends and she gets me. I don't have to explain things to her. Well, there's something that brings me joy. Being with a friend that gets you. And I found this. I leapt on it. Pitt. And my mum and dad and any friends that came round, if you've watched this before, you know they had lots of friends always round. And Pitt, 1957. Mum's writing. It was a great game, and you had to. The great game, yes. Pitt sold everywhere. These are all the cards. They're so worn out, but I thought, right, they're going to go in my journals because that's what I'm making, memory journals. I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. But I leapt on that when I saw it. It's things like this that I'm absolutely loving. Going through the stuff around there. Mum would have said, oh, darling, that was in a bag in a corner, Anyway, the house had got a little bit jumbled with people looking at this and that. And so Heather and I, we went through it at the weekend. It's all nice and tidy. I've put it on the market, or it's going on the market. And I've popped round with the plumber today, just because, anyway, I did. He said, your mum and dad were my favourite customers. I said, really? He said, no, I'm not just saying it. They were. They were top of my list. I said, oh, that brought me such joy. This is what it's all about this week, finding joy when you really feel like the pits. Oh, yeah. Count your blessings, eh? Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's a song. I can't sing it because I will cry. And anyway, I didn't take after my mum having a lovely voice. But it is true, isn't it? When you feel low, put a smile on your face. And it does help. Yeah, so that's where I am. Thanks for... anyway. Last Thursday, Friday, the sun was shining and we just went round the block trying to get our strength back. And we saw a lapwing. Haven't seen a lapwing since I've been doing chinwag. As Pete said, there used to be fields of lapwings, love. You drive... I said I'd drive home from work and the sky'd be full of them. We saw one, and that's the first one I've seen round there for 4 years. Anyway, I've made a little film of it. He was quite a way away, but my camera got him. So you got one lapwing, but in case it was too far away, I put up a picture, that's not copyrighted, just so you can see what a lapwing looks like. And if you get more than one lapwing or a whole load of them, they're called a deceit of lapwings, because if they get predators near the nest or get predators near them, they feign death or, that they're injured, and they deceive the predator. So that's why they're called that. I thought it was quite funny. Yeah. So, but they're on the red list. Why? Because they haven't got any places to live now. With our agriculture everywhere, they're down by a third, or down by 2/3. Yeah. So, or shall we say a half, you know, that sort of thing. I'm no good at maths, but they're right down in numbers. So, yeah, it was nice just to see one. And then we saw our green woodpecker around there in the field, chomping away. And you know, green woodpeckers have got these little feet, little legs, and they hop. And that's what he was doing. Oh, there's a little film. A pleasure to be out in the sunshine and getting our strength back. Well, it obviously worked because, yeah, he's cutting the grass and I'm chatting to you. So that was good. Then what else? Look at him. I thought, shall I wait until I've finished him before I chat to you? But I just couldn't wait. So he's got his little jacket on. Owls have got flat faces so that the sound goes into their ears. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? And we talked last week about them having, you know, rods set in, which is why they can't move their eyes. They have to move their heads. Never knew that. Their hearing is so good that what's it called? Hang on. The northern hawk owl, he can hear 12 inches under snow. He can hear the things under there. Yeah, so that's why you've got a flat face. Well done. They got 2 toes forward, 2 toes back, so that they can get their prey and, you know, hold on to it. And they've got the best night vision of any animal. Yeah. And the elf owl, did I tell you that last week, is 5 to 6 inches tall. So I'm really quite taken with the owl. He's gorgeous, isn't he? Well, he wants to be a lifeboat man, as you know. And he's got lovely cable. He was supposed to have turn-ups on his trousers. I did the turn-up for one, but I literally ran out of wool for 2 rows. And I'm not sending off for more wool. And Pete said, anyway, lifeboat men, they did look better with turn-ups. Lifeboat men won't have turn-ups because they get watered in the turn-up. So he's just got his ordinary trousers. So you're going to be okay like that, aren't you? But of course he's got to have his boots. He's got his boots to be done. So that'll be when I get his boots done. I'm not a planner. I'm a spontaneous type of person. Pete, every morning we have a cup of tea and he says, what we doing today, love? I say, well, what do we fancy? Well, he fancied going out and do a bit of gardening. I fancied doing chinwag, but I had to deviate and go and see the plumber first. And yeah, that's what we do. We're retired. What do we fancy? Obviously, there's certain things you have to do, like washing up. But apart from that, he'll get his boots when I fancy doing them. So, thanks for listening. No, I'm not saying thanks for listening. I've said that. I'll have to edit that out. So that's Louis the Owl, or his name is Plop, because my daughters read a book they absolutely loved when they were children called Plop, the owl who's afraid of the dark. Well, I'm not sure if he might be, mightn't he? Are you afraid of the dark? Well, being a lifeboat man, I think he's got a bit of oomph, so he might be Louis. But there might be a little side of him, because we've all got different sides to us, haven't we? There might be a little Plop in there. Right. On that note, I'll put you back. Oh. Okay. So, yes, as I've told you, I've been around the house, and the things I'm finding, it's quite a joy. I found these wedding photos. My mum, my brother's wedding. Okay, now how happy she looks. Just the one, Mrs. Wembley. Oh, that was a television programme. I forget what it was called now. Who else is in here? A mum with the girls. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be cut out and put in one of the journals, because this is what I'm doing. I've made a little flippy flappy one here. Flippy flappies. I've made these little things to put in, but what's going to be put in is photographs and little notes. And the plumber told me some little things that Mum and Dad always used to say, which was quite nice. I said, well, that'll have to go in a journal. This has got a belly band that you put photographs behind. I hope that's coming out. You can write little things on there. Enjoy the little things in life. I'll put it a bit nearer because the light. Again, you can put photographs behind that. That opens up to the waterfall. So you can put writing and photos under that. Another place you can put photos. Yeah. Journaling on the back there. Little things Mum said or Dad said. A little envelope, which I thought was cute. A couple of little journaling things. But again, that will be filled with memorabilia that's pertinent to the person. But I bought those little envelopes, and then last night, just as I was going to bed, I found somebody, who was it? I'll write it on the screen who it was, showing you how to make envelopes. So easy. 3 folds. And all you need is a square piece of paper. And she said it doesn't matter how big the square is. And so I got a little square. And you fold that down. And you fold these to there, this one to there, this one to there. It's just a plain piece of paper on the back. That's right. So I inked it. It's so tiny. And again, I just put that in there just to show you. But you can put any little note in or anything. So cute. So I'm not one to have it all with, jingle jangles and lace and all of this. It's a very practical thing for me because I'm a practical kind of person. But that will be, filled with all, told you that. So here was an envelope I did literally with a plain piece of paper. Oh no. Yeah. That's right. Plain on the back. But of course you can stick that in the journal. I inked it round a bit. And again, little journaling card. So that can be stuck in somewhere. That's just experimenting. I know people have been saying they've been crafting for years and don't get it out because they won't stop. This is very new for me and it's come just at the right time. Learning something new is very good for the brain and brings you joy. Here is just a piece of blue paper. I just found it in Dad's study and big wad of it. So I brought it home, all different colours. And you just go fold, 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 fold. It takes you a minute, but it gives you so many places that you can put photos or whatever you want to do. Oh, that one there as well. And then you can either just stick that down there on the page and you've still got another, place to put something, or you can stick the whole thing down. But that's just a piece of plain ordinary paper, A4. Just ink the edges. Makes it look, I was really pleased. I'm through to bits. You can tell, can't you? So I made, I think it's called a trifold. Now, my mum was sent flowers quite regularly by people and they use a firm called Bloom and Wild. And every time the flowers come, there was this ribbon. And I'm not one to waste anything. So the ribbon was taken. So I got quite a bit of that. So I thought, well, that will go around that. So what have I got here? At the beginning, Oh, Flippy Flappy. So you can put in, little bits. I put that in because June is my mum's birthday, and I thought I'd ring round the 7th, but you can put photos in there. You've got pockets everywhere, belly bands. That opens up like that. Again, pocket, a nice deep one. Another pocket for the side. Oh, pocket at the top. Pocket, oh yes, that's right. Pocket there and a flap here. Then you close it up and then you open it. Well, that's the back. Nice deep pocket. Place you can put all mum's little sayings. Now, my mum was a Coronation Street lady. She loved it. And she was watching it right back from episode 1. And I found a Coronation Street book, a memorabilia book that I think my brother bought her some years ago. So I thought, right, we'll use the pages for that. And then I found a Mary Berry cookbook. I thought, right, we'll use a page of that. And Mum had written out the recipe from one. So that went in that pocket. Just a little bit. Turn it over. What's on that page? Oh, 2 pockets. But I learnt from one lady, I'll put her name here, of how to make, you don't just score the pocket down and ink the flap back. You make a small score very close. And so what that does is it gives you a depth to the pocket. And I really like that because it makes a deep pocket and you can get quite a lot in there. Can you see that? Depth to the pocket. Yeah. That's the next page. Belly band and a pocket. And what do you do then? So it's called a trifold because it opens up like that, but then you've got it opening up the other way too, and you stick an envelope, that's just an envelope, you stick an envelope in there and cover the envelope. So it gives you what is called a trifold. Well, it's all new for me. So that's that one. Oh, this one I made out of, because I sent off originally, and it's turned out to be quite heavy board, which I wasn't quite sure about, but it's nice because it does stand up. It'll stand on your mantelpiece on its own. So again, Mum loved playing a piano, as you know. Bits in there all the way along. You can see the way I do things, just the way I've been looking at. And then the back as well. Plenty of places to put all memorabilia. And as I say, that stands up on its own just nicely. So it's quite a nice card, really. Yeah, for people who don't want a great big book. But you can also then fasten it round. Oh, this one, as you know, I did for Anne. That was my first try, really. And I found some photos of her children, which she wanted. So that's going to be for her. And then this was my original Peter Rabbit, which I put a few more bits in. And yeah, so that's what I've made so far. Oh, and of course you have got the back of that as well. I like these foldy ones. So that's what I've been doing, keeping my heart joyful and, yeah, keeping my mind occupied. Now I'm well enough to go out. the sun's shining, and I'm going to go down and sit with the chickens for a little while and sort things out down there. And oh no, silly Billy me, I've got some news. Oh, how could I forget? My little great-grandson's been born. His name's George, and today's Monday, and he was born last Monday. Let me tell you the story. My daughter messaged me and said, Mum, we've just been round there to collect Mila. That's my granddaughter's little girl. And she's 3. We've just been round there because Georgina said, oh, Mum, you know, I think labour's starting. When we got round there, the pains were every 7 minutes. And then they went to 5. And Georgina was saying, oh, these are pretty strong. Let's phone the hospital. They said, wait till they're 3 and then come in. It doesn't work like that. For me, I woke up from a deep sleep, drove to the hospital, which was 10 minutes away, had Nicola, my daughter, straight away. And the nurses told me off for not coming in sooner. But I couldn't have got in sooner because I was asleep. And that's how it was. You go a bit into shock, a little bit, but that's what it was like for me giving birth. Anyway, so they said, well, okay, my daughter said, well, I'd go in if I were you. Why don't you go in? They can send you home. When she got home with Mila, which is about 20 minutes away, Georgina sent her through a photo of herself holding a baby. Kim said, I think this is a hoax, Mum. I said, well, if she's in labour, it can't really be a hoax. But Kim said it couldn't possibly have happened. But it did. They literally drove to the hospital. She wanted a push in the car park, got her to a room, and before you could say Jack Robinson, within 20 minutes, as I say, of her leaving home, she'd had baby. No pethidine, no painkiller, nothing. And that was, yeah, that's how it was for me. No time for pain relief. But before you know where you are, baby's here. He was £8 2 ounces. His name's George. And yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So that was a joy. That was another joy. So that was 10:30 at night last Monday. But it was all a bit like that. Is it real? Has it happened? And as I say, we were poorly and not well enough to go and visit. Her husband's off for a fortnight, so we've decided we're going to go and see him next week. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. But we've had lots of photos and a little film. So the little film's at the end. So if you can get through the boring bit of the birds, it's only a minute, you'll get to see baby. So, yes, it's all happened. And as I say, he's a week old now. The film, he was born 10:30 at night, and the film was the next lunchtime. My daughter went round, took Mila home, and yeah, it was Mila being introduced to her brother. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you next time. And yeah, find joy in your hearts and have a good week. Bye.
Who are we going to see?
Baby George.
Baby George, we are.
Yeah.
so tiny.
He's your baby brother, Mila.
He's oh, so kind.
Hello. Go on then, you can go down the slides. Ready? Yeah. Ready? Whee!